Hi, welcome back to Daily Movie Recaps. A new movie recapped every single day. Today, we'll recap a 2011 British psychological drama film set in New York. Spoilers up ahead, so watch out. Enjoy the recap. Brandon, a 30-something handsome New Yorker, is lying awake in bed wrapped in a blue sheet. He is now waiting for the train at the station, wearing a dull-colored scarf and jacket. He is alone in the public. On the subway, we learn how much he likes getting intimate with women as he stares up at a young woman, with the sound of people getting intimate playing in the background. The scene cuts to him in bed with another woman, before he walks around his apartment without clothes. He ignores his sister's voice message on the telephone. He is still staring at the woman. At home, he hires a call girl, and gets intimate with her. He is seen walking around his apartment again. He ignores his sister's voice messages this time too. He handles himself in the bathroom. The next day, he looks at that young woman, with lustful eyes on the train. She first smiles at him, but then crosses her legs. She has a wedding and engagement ring on, and when they exit the train, Brandon stands behind her. She runs off the train, and Brandon pursues her, but she disappears into the crowd. During a meeting the next day, he gazes off into nothingness. He immediately gives his attention. He notices his computer being taken away. He gets nervous, and goes to the bathroom and handles himself, but before he does anything, he wipes down the toilet seat. He returns to his nice apartment in the evening, and watches adult content on his laptop, before his sister calls twice. The next day, on reaching the office, he stares at a girl, with lustful eyes. At work, he stares at his coworker Marianne but is distracted by an employee. After work, Brandon and his boss David go out, and meet 3 women at a club. David tries to flirt with them, and dances with one of them named Elizabeth. David taxis home, and Elizabeth gives Brandon a lift. Later Brandon gets intimate with her. When Brandon arrives home, he assumes a burglar is in his house. He grabs a bat, and goes to the bathroom, but finds a naked woman taking a shower. It is, in fact, his sister Sissy. He confronts himself in front of her. He turns off the song, and proceeds to pick up Sissy's scarf. Later at night, while watching adult content, Brandon overhears Sissy begging someone over the phone. The next morning, Sissy wears an earring. She drinks orange juice. She claims that she has no place to live, and asks if she could stay with him for a while. Brandon reluctantly agrees. Sissy steps too close to the edges of the tracks. Brandon pulls her back. She tries to take the fluff out of his jacket. Sissy asks Brandon to watch her sing in the club, and he agrees. That day in the office, David invites Brandon back out to a club, to try and pick up more women. Brandon agrees, but only if they go to where Sissy will be playing music. In the evening, Brandon and David reach the club, where David starts flirting with one of the staff. They watch Sissy sing a beautifully sad jazz version of New York. Brandon gets emotional. Afterwards, Sissy sits with Brandon and David at their table where she talks a little more about herself, and her singing career before. After a casual talk over drinks, they all go back to Brandon's apartment. While Brandon checks his mail in the lobby, Sissy and David go up to his apartment. Brandon waits by the elevator, as it opens and closes. When he arrives, he hears Sissy getting intimate with David through the bedroom door, in his own bed. Brandon leaves his apartment, and runs on the streets, while listening to box piano music on his earphones. Brandon comes back home, and sees that Sissy and David are gone. He changes the bed sheets, and quickly goes to bed. A little later that night, he is annoyed by Sissy, who climbs into his bed, and wants to cuddle with him. Brandon yells at her to go back to sleep on the couch, and she leaves him alone. Next, Brandon comes into work, and is told that he got his computer back, before David calls him into his office. While he walks in, David is video chatting with his family. He tells David about finding adult content on his computer. Later, he tries to pursue a relationship with his coworker Marianne, by flirting with her, and asking if she would like to have dinner with him, and Marianne accepts. They are having a casual and pleasant dinner at a local restaurant, in spite of the young awkward waiter interrupting them several times. He says he's opposed to the idea of marriage, that he can't imagine sharing his life with one person, and the only relationship he had, only lasted 4 months. Later, while walking home, they discuss what, and when they would like to be if they could go back in time, and be anyone who they could be. They part ways, and Brandon goes home alone. Later that night, Sissy arrives at Brandon's apartment, and accidentally walks in on him, handling himself in the bathroom. Brandon responds violently, forcefully grabbing her by the throat. She then finds his laptop open, full of adult content. Through the laptop camera, a woman is half undressed, touching herself while waiting for Brandon. She says that he would love the two women to get it together. Brandon violently appears and accuses Sissy of spying on him, and she storms out. Brandon then takes all of his adult content in his apartment, including his laptop, and throws everything out. The next day at work, Brandon approaches Marianne and kisses her. He takes her to a lavish hotel room. He snorts a line in the bathroom, hidden from Marianne. They attempt to get intimate, but Brandon cannot maintain staying aroused. He asks her to leave. Marianne leaves, while he stays at the hotel room, feeling lonely and humiliated. Sometime later, as the line's effect wears off, Brandon is seen getting intimate with another woman, against the glass window in the same hotel room. After the woman leaves, Brandon looks across the water, dreaming of something more. When Brandon gets home, he watches cartoons on his TV set, and Sissy arrives and talks to him. He asks her where she was, and she tells him that she was with David. Brandon tells Sissy that David happens to be married, and Sissy says that she already knows, for David told her during their first night together. Brandon angrily tells Sissy that she must move out at the end of the week, to look for her own place to live. She says that they are family, and are supposed to help each other, but Brandon wants nothing to do with her, because, he says, all she does is drag him down. Brandon then heads out, and tries to pick up a woman at a bar, flirting and doing dirty things with her. He insults her boyfriend by telling him how he would pleasure her, and Brandon ends up getting beaten up by her boyfriend. Bruised and beaten, he tries to enter a nightclub, but he is denied entrance, as the partygoers look much younger than its usual crowd. So the bouncer insists that he can't get in that night. Brandon sees a gay bar across the street and enters it. As he walks through it, a man approaches and kisses him, then satisfies him orally in one of the back rooms. He ignores his sister's voice messages. Next, Brandon is shown entering a cheap hotel room occupied by two women. He ends up getting intimate with both of them at the same time. When he leaves, he sees that Sissy left a voicemail on his cell phone. When the subway stops, the doors don't open. He hears sirens and sees people running furiously. He gets off the train that stopped because of an implied life ending further up the tracks. He frantically calls Sissy, but she doesn't answer, so he rushes home. When he gets there, Sissy is lying on the bathroom floor after having tried to end her life. She survives, and he visits her in the hospital. When he leaves, he collapses on the street and cries in the rain. Sometime later, Brandon is seen sitting on the train, going to work as usual. A woman sitting across from him, only wearing her engagement ring, tries to make eye contact with him. He tries to look away, but she keeps staring at him and smiling. Clearly flirting with him, she stands up and holds onto the post to leave the train, expecting him to follow her. All the while, Brandon looks up at her, and the screen cuts to black. Please leave a comment or like, and don't forget to subscribe, and turn on your notifications. This way you'll never miss any movie recap again. Thanks for watching, and see you at the next movie recap.